Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is GK. Thanks for stopping by. We're glad to see you as always. Hopefully you're glad to see us as well. We're going to start off today another 9 envelopes to mail out. 9 envelopes. 3 of them were like double card orders. One of them's even going to Puerto Rico. How crazy is that? That's pretty cool. You know, one of the things, if you follow us on Instagram, you'll see sold cards and then where their destination is. And that's one of the most rewarding things to me about being able to do this as a vehicle or a thing to do inside of the hobby is I'd never imagined that somebody would be like, hey, GK, I'm in Puerto Rico, send me this card. And it was cool. It's like a 1970s Reds batting leader. So it's like, man, how did we get to that point? And one of the things is, man, social media. And I've got some mail to share with you guys. I'm going to flip the camera around and I'm going to talk about social media and sports cards while we check these cards out. All right, there they are. There's the glasses so we can see what we're talking about here. And yesterday we got this bubble mailer in and we're excited. We want to share it with you as quick as we can because really the thing of it is we've got to get these ingested into our system and get them on the virtual shelves as soon as possible. And I mean, there's some really nice cards, and how we came about them is a pretty cool story. Especially if you just come back to collecting, or you know, even if you've been at it for a while. One of the cool things, you know, here's another note. Appreciate your friendship. Enjoy this Herschel, and the card that he's talking about is this Immaculate 36 out of 49 on card auto. This is a good friend of ours from Instagram, and we got to know them in the hobby. You know, it took a while, and one of the things that was crazy when we got into the hobby, there's that, and I'm just going to start going through these while I'm talking. We got back into the hobby, and it was like we found social media like Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, you know, Facebook groups, all this stuff, and I was blown away at the type of cards that were on the market today. You know, this stuff didn't exist in 1991. Now, I had been out of the hobby since then, but I didn't get a mile deep into it until last year. And social media had a lot to do with that. And so this guy that sent us these cards, and it's a card lot. We bought this lot. There's several different cards. There's a die cut, you know, contenders. I love a die cut. Real nice Reggie Wayne right there. So anyways, you know, we kind of developed a relationship over time, going back and forth on DMs and stuff like that. And this guy has an amazing collection, but he's kind of a low key seller, you know? And, I mean, that's understandable. Nice D Watt. I believe that's numbered. Or not. No, red, white, and blue. Usually retail. But anyway, so inside of the DMs, you know, the guy's like, hey man, I'd like to sell some cards, you know. And a while back, and what was cool was that you know, eventually we ended up doing business together. You know, I'd buy some cards, and one of the cool things about that was selling these eventually built up to where we had the capital to buy these. And that's really what we wanted. One of the main things we wanted to do once we realized that what was cool in 1993 isn't necessarily cool in 2020 or 2019. And so we started leveling up, and here we are opening up a fat pack of cardboard goodness from one of our good friends that we made through social media. Another cool thing about social media that we realized, we were able to do a thing yesterday, and that thing was sign up for PayPal micropayments. And PayPal micropayments is typically when we've been sending these out, it's been, you know, like we send this out, let's say for $1, all right? Then after eBay and PayPal fees, we're left with about 66 cents. And then you ship it for 50 and you're looking at 16 cents. So this right here, all that hard work for 16 cents an envelope. But man, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. It adds up to this. You know, here's what you can do if you kind of stick with it and stay on task. And so we signed up for the micropayments. And then how we found out about micropayments was a guy that we follow on Twitter, 1 Million Cubs. 1 Million Cubs Project, I think, is his Twitter handle. But, you know, that nonetheless, he had an article, how to sign up for micropayments. So he followed through on it and ended up making that call yesterday afternoon, asking PayPal, hey, sign us up. So now when this goes out, it's a 2.5% fee and like 5 cents. So right there, we're increasing our bottom line, but we wouldn't have been able to do that, just like we wouldn't have been able to do this without social media and working through there. And, you know, this in itself is kind of social media. You know, if you're creating content and sharing information with people or just ripping packs, you know, that's good to go. This sure didn't exist in 1978. I tell you that. You know, this is a lot different than it was back then. And I think it's a good thing. You know, here's a 49 and a 25. These are awesome cards. I've never had a select tie-dye until now, and they're just beautiful in your hand. And, you know, as much as I loved hopping on my BMX bike and taking a ride to meet up with my buddies, pool our money together, and rip some wax packs, I think I enjoy what's going on nowadays even better because we're able to connect with so many more people, you know, like Lauren and Kevin over the Sports Card Talk Show, they put you in touch with people, you know, like every week you're meeting new folks. I know that like Ram out at NorCal Hobby Shop, you know, if I'm looking for supplies or I want to buy a hobby box, I go through them. You know, our guy, Guard Captain or Figs on Twitter, you know, he's really one of the guys that kind of showed us the way how to ship PWE once we made that decision. I mean, there's just a lot of good information out there. A lot of people that will do this. And, you know, this lot looks like what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 12, 13 cards, 2, 4, 6, 8, 13 cards. All right. And let's say for and how we'll work this package is hypothetically, let's say this card lot costs $130. You know, that's not the actual cost, but just for simplicity, we'll say this costs $130. Now, what we do as a seller is we say, hey, we got 13 cards, $130. We've got $10 a card. We don't necessarily worry about how much this card could sell for. We want to be able to put that on the shelf. And if there's if all we have to do is recover a $10 cost, it gives us a lot of negotiating room with a potential buyer. And one of the things that we also have to look at when making a purchase like this for a lot is, you know, what's the unseen value in that? And this, what we're doing right now, is some of that unseen value. Of course, you know, like we said, these will turn into Instagram posts, you know, once they sell and move on to their customers. And there's value in that as well. And we, you know, so is the cost really $130 for all this? Or did we pay a hypothetical $130 for like $200 worth of value? And I think it's also a good lesson as a seller that if we can provide this kind of value to others, we're going to do all right. You know, even though right now this is the level that we're at, you know, we're going to do all right if we keep our head down and stick with it. So my thoughts on social media, man, it's a great thing. You know, don't get caught up in the negativity, you know, that like anything else is out there. You know, there's too much positive and there's too many good people doing good things, like racking the community. I know our guy, Mr. Jimmy Guns on YouTube, Mr. Jimmy Bro on Twitter, like 2 racks a week this guy's putting out, you know, random acts of kindness for others in the hobby. So, you know, that's what it is. We like social media. We like what it allows us to do as far as modern day collecting. We appreciate you taking the time to stop by and check us out and, you know, find us on social. We'll be there. We'll be waiting for you. See you then.